welcome to Quackalope. Thank you for being here. Today, we're bringing you a GenCon haul video, and needless to say...
You're about to drop minis.
There's a lot of things to go through. So, we did this just to give you a sneak peek of what we're going to be talking about in the video, but we're going to go ahead and reset. We're going to go over these smaller products first, kind of little highlights, pins, bits, pieces that we got, and then we're going to dive into some of these brand new, super exciting, and really great games that we've had a chance to play so far. Every single thing here, we chose to take home, right?
Yep.
A few of the games are things that publishers gave us to cover, that we were able to sit down and play test, which we'll talk about. Some of the products are things that we purchased ourselves for my own selfish reasons. For some reason, I don't think I have enough board games yet. A lot of you can relate. And a lot of the other stuff is just going to be stuff that we are super excited to be adding to our gaming repertoire. For instance, some super nice
Dice trays.
So, we're going to reset, and then we'll get into it. Right after... I don't know what that is. This, you clap, and then it... But it doesn't work that way.
Let's do it together.
Do it. We didn't get it. Try again. Maybe that time.
We're gonna be driving you nuts with claps.
Okay. 1, 2. We still can't get the clap right. Either way, some board games disappeared. Welcome back. GenCon was an absolute blast. It was a lot of fun, and considering we've had a few days to detox from it, it's actually been a nice. Like, I look back at it fondly.
Do you?
Yeah, there was a lot of stress, a bit of chaos, and as your first con and my first con in a couple of years, It was sort of a mind-blowing experience, but we'll talk about all that on the vlog that comes out this Saturday. That being said, we've got a few things to go through, so let's sprint through these little things, let's talk about what we got, all these things, and then let's start digging into the board games, because that's why people are here to see, but we can't overlook some of the stuff that I think you're the most excited about, genuinely.
I am. So, from Steeped Games, we've got dice trays.
Now, Alex had a set of these dice trays
Yes,
already,
he
which
did.
is why you knew enough to want to get them while we were there. These are just super colorful, tiny little claspable dice trays. They're really well, kind of sturdily made. We'll probably feature them on like a Board Game Components upgrade video at some point.
And they come in so many colors and designs, and the backs of them also have so many colors.
So we were talking with them. They have plans for more and new and different versions of these, but I'm going to be honest, I really like how kind of creative and unbranded all of them are. It's one of the things I like the most is that they're not specific to a game, and they're also not specific to a company. Instead of like a big old slapped logo there in the center.
I like how small they are and how easy they are to access, and if you have so many of them, then you could just keep them all over and just grab one very easily.
These are perfect for what we do on camera.
Yes.
And
I'm
so
really excited about
we'll be using them. Toss those over to the side. I want to highlight this little gaming goat here. There's a store out of Elmhurst, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. Kirsten there is someone that I've been chatting with online for a while since we met at Gamma a couple years back, right before the world quit. And she has a store that she runs there. We have hoped to go up and visit at some point, and her store patrons had created this for us, which is just a little...
Their store mascot is this goat. So
yeah, little Quackalope logo there, little Quackalope branded on the back, and she runs a great store out of there, out of Elmhurst.
Yeah.
So if you have the opportunity to swing by and check that out, this was just super cool to have someone arrive with.
One of my highlights was meeting the creators of Townsfolk Tussle. And
they had piles of pins.
They had piles of pins, and meeting them and just seeing how down-to-earth and genuine they all are, and we played Mythic Mischief with them as well. So that was another one of my highlights.
I think they are, no offense to anyone else, the Townsfolk Tussle crew was the only crew that I genuinely, like, starstruck for a second. They popped up, said hello, I turned around, I was like, I recognize you, looked down at their shirt after they pointed at it, and I was sitting there playtesting the game, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love your game, I'm so excited to meet you, and then we just hung out for the rest of the con, which was fantastic. Talking about playing Mythic Mischief with them, though, I know the campaign's coming to an end, but you'll still be able to late black it, I am sure, and pledge. Alex and I just got the solo rules in, which means we're going to be able to check out one of our most anticipated, one of the best games we've had all year, and actually play this little abstract as a solo puzzle as well. So that's exciting.
You were talking about celebrities. The celebrity that blew my mind was Ryan Lockett. Ryan
You know
Lockett.
his games. You've
I know
never
his
met
games
the man.
from Red Raven Games. He was giving out signed copies of some prototype cards, and we got a deck of cards from him as well.
So these are promo cards.
There we go.
And this is going to be a tiny little expansion deck for Isobland, I think. Yep. Isobland Metropolis.
I've only played one of his games, honestly, but the artwork in it blew my mind, and I'm looking forward to playing Sleeping Gods. We played Now or Never. I'm looking forward to playing Above and Below and Near and Far. So this
Super
was a celebrity.
genuine,
Like, I was like,
super humble
oh my
guy.
gosh, you create amazing games. You are so cool to meet. And he talked to me like a human. Like, he was so genuine.
He's super humble.
Yeah.
A bit shy when it comes to giant crowds like that. But it was really great to be able to connect with him again and say hi and grab some things. So, some other things. Some old friends of mine. We didn't have anything to get from the Fire Tower crew.
We got a pin.
So we just grabbed some more gems because we have one of those custom little fireplaces.
Yeah.
I backed them on Kickstarter, like full in. And so we grabbed a few more gems to fill that out. Love seeing them again. These are going to be expansion dice for a few specific things that we still have to show off.
With that.
We'll get there. Yep.
Another one of the things that really made my day are from Orange Nebula. They created this series of artwork, and they're misunderstood, limited edition, and the whole concept behind them was that what if Medusa was just misunderstood? What if like all these ogres and trolls that are portrayed as dumb are actually geniuses? And what if this slimy, gooey monster is actually non-toxic?
We're planning on getting these framed, hanging them up somewhere really cool.
Oh, and they were signed by the artists that created them, so that was really exciting. I also got them in iron-on patches, and I got them in pins. I might have been that excited just about the concept behind it.
Yeah.
I just love the connection to mental health and stuff.
We also grabbed the Inner Glow from Vindication, which is just a little expansion pack, some little promo cards here, a few more pins, a few more objects and items. Are you just dumping off? So
I did.
For those of you that are looking at the top cam here, we have a thing where we travel around, and instead of taking a bunch of cell phone photos or anything like that, we end up taking Polaroids.
Yeah, we travel with this little mini Polaroid camera, and the important thing for us is that the picture isn't perfect, but it captures the moment, and we can look back. I usually write on the side, I'll write the date that it was taken on, I'll write like a cute little quote or something that helps us remember the memory,
Yep.
and then I'll write down the location that it was at. And we've got a book over like 60 of them at this point, just from when we started traveling.
So this is just our main GenCon experience.
Yep.
This is an evening where we got to hang out with Jeff from Simon.
Such a great guy.
Fantastic to hang out, not only with him, but all the, like, there was a big crowd
Yeah.
of publishers and friends and just content creators, and so we all get to hang out, have some drinks, relax from a long day, and that was just a really cool experience, so we saved both of those. And also, Jeff, if you're watching this, yeah, that dragon at least isn't entirely lonely.
Gloomhaven draws the line. We're in the middle of a campaign. I don't know why you got more stickers.
So we didn't have the sticker set. We didn't have the sticker set, and so
I've been doing the stickers on our set.
So this is the removable stickers.
Oh.
And you're freaking out by placing them on things.
Yeah.
And so these you
can touch these. I let you touch these.
See, removable sticker set and map.
That's cool.
So this will make it so you're not destroying a thing.
Okay, and then we got a pin from them as well.
Does that mean I can start writing on our actual?
No writing. You actually had decent handwriting. Maybe I'll reconsider. I had to get just a starter set of pins from the whole experience. In case you can't tell, I like pins.
We got a few different pins, yeah. Pins. You got Too Many Bones, which just released a giant announcement, which is the brand new content coming from Too Many Bones, which you still need to sit down and play.
Need to sit down.
Looks super cool, super exciting. They have so much stuff already there. So if we're going to end up doing coverage of this expansion, we're going to have to get started on the base game and get you up to speed, because the game's incredible, but I'll be honest, the last time I dove into it, the sheer amount of stuff I had to puzzle through was a bit overwhelming.
Okay.
So I'm going to need your help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down.
All right. Off to the side. We got a chance to read the book. We got a chance to demo the game.
Yes, we got a chance.
The Stuff of Legend, I already put out a video on it because it's already up on Kickstarter, doing decently. Really cool little comic book
game. We're just waiting for us to get our hands on the game.
We're waiting for the prototype to come in. Okay, off to the side.
That is a map for parks.
Yes, we ended up getting one of my 5 out of 5 games. Have you played Parks?
I love Parks.
Yeah.
It's
So
gorgeous.
it was time to go ahead and start upgrading one of our favorite games.
Components. I also got a pin from them over there. Save the wildlife.
Is that what this is?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So we got our playmat for Parks. We got some pictures. You want to talk about these?
Cosmic Frog, a game that so before we were even a thing.
We're a thing?
We're not a thing.
Oh
Before
my
we
gosh.
were not a thing, I would listen to him on the Quackalope podcast, and he was talking about this game, Cosmic Frog, about a frog just consuming its enemies. And I love the idea, and I really wanted to play it. I haven't played it yet, but we got these 2 gorgeous artworks.
The artwork's so incredible.
It is, and I'm looking forward to framing these as well. We're gonna have a section of artwork in our house.
Yeah, we're gonna have a pile of really cool board game
We each
stuff.
picked one.
All I need, though, what I really need is I need the artist to sign these things.
Yes.
That's what we're gonna have to have.
Yeah.
The last stuff to show off before we start swinging into the bigger titles is going to be a RPG that I picked up. I love RPG games. I love the promise of them. I want to start playing them with you. And I mean, it's where I entered the hobby space. Just throw it somewhere.
I did.
It's where I enter the hobby space, and so I had to go ahead and pick up another RPG book. I picked up
You also
Never
happen
Going
to love
Home.
this artwork.
Never Going Home, Tome of Corrupted Beasts, Bones in the Dust, which is going to be the campaign, and Book of Whispers, which is going to be extra character classes and like things of the occult. So this is basically like you're playing World War I. In the trenches, trench warfare, military, like they have, every series goes through different stages of military progression, where you start with like bayonets and swords and cavalry charging around across the ground. You get up to a little bit more to like tank warfare, machine guns, rifles, and I really, first off, loved the artwork of this, but then also got more and more compelled by the gameplay. I don't know if it fits you 100%, but
I don't know. We haven't gotten into RPGs yet.
we kind of want to start with Humblewood.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Humblewood. I like that type of artwork, and I love those characters, how they look. This, we'll see.
I want to run this so bad. So, if you like RPGs and you're looking for a really cool sort of indie thing that's set in World War I aesthetic and sort of then progresses up through a lot of the other like global or national wars, this one does that and then mixes in like corrupted Cthulhu and you know.
Deck of cards that goes with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna slot these onto Board Game Co.'s shelf because he doesn't like RPGs, so he won't try to steal them. And these posters, let's go ahead and move things over. Okay, you want to start with the pile next to you while I get a few things sorted here?
Sure. All right. This is a...
Oh, this is a little social deduction game.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about this one. We were walking by and the publisher sort of handed it off to us, said that he thought we'd enjoy it, and so this is one of those that end up coming with us, even though we're not entirely sure what it is. So I did read the rule book. Why are you scooting it off so quickly? I think it's funny that you started with this one, though. So Duhr the lesser houses. Basically, you're going to be competing as a series of houses vying for the king or the kingdom's favor. Okay. And part of the main element of it, I think it's a 3 to 6, 4 to 6. So you have to play a little bit higher player counts. And the main element of it is going to be, you're going to be slowly working and coordinating with each other to start killing off other houses as you play, with shifting alliances kind of always consistently happening until there's only one favorable house left remaining, which is going to be the victor. It's court warfare done in sort of a social deduction context. And so it looks interesting. I don't get a lot of social deduction games to the table, so it might be a little while before we dive into it, but it'll be kind of on the shelf of things that we need to get played, and the publisher was very confident with it. Cool. So, cool. Swing this off to the side. Wait, are you going to grab things, or can I grab things?
You told me to go through the pile.
We have the Night Cage. A lot of you that are already familiar with this probably saw the How to Play video over here on the channel and kind of the preview and stuff we did. This is a cooperative game where you're diving into the depths of this crypt. It's a really, really cool puzzle, and a lot of people that wrote it off originally have been surprised by just how complex and how interesting the puzzle is. So this is a grid that circles back in on itself. Like, you're always able to explore, even the outer edges coming back around, and you don't know exactly where you are in the crypt. And you're doing your best to crawl through these tunnels and not get eaten or consumed by creatures, and slowly find keys to unlock the door to get everyone out.
You've played?
I have played. I did the prototype coverage of this.
Cool.
So the only thing that you have, though, is you have this little candle clutched in your hand. Like, literally, it's your life source. The artwork shows it burning down so that the wax is dripping across your hand, but you're unwilling to drop it because it's the only thing that you have that keeps you from the darkness. And the thing that makes this game so cool is that as you explore the map, anything that isn't lit up by your candle starts going dark. And so the tunnels can change and shift behind you because you have no idea what things have become. Which is really, really neat in a cooperative game, because there's moments where strategically you find a key or a door, and you tell your companion, stay here, keep it lit, because if we lose the light, if it goes dark, we'll lose this location.
That's so cool.
Is that neat?
Yeah.
So it gives this really, really good sense of, like, ambient foreboding. It's just really cool. So, Smirk and Dagger produced that. I hadn't had a chance to pick up a copy yet, and so I was excited that I was able to. I'm going to go faster than you if you don't grab one.
What?
We have the Great Western Trail, and not the one that you would have seen. In the old school. This is the one with the beautiful cover artwork and kind of upgraded graphics art. So this is Jan's number one of all time.
I still haven't
from
played it.
Eggert Spiel. This is the second edition, and I have to say I am absolutely thrilled we were able to get a copy of this.
Yeah.
Because this is probably one of my most anticipated reprints or anticipated updates to a game system, period. This is going to be a Euro sort of worker placement style game where you're working on a giant rondel, doing your best to move cattle from the start of the board all the way up to, I forget the town you're going to, but all the way up to the city where you drop them off for victory points, and then you circle back around to the beginning, and you do the same thing over and over again. It's this big rotating rondel system. Here's the really, really cool thing about the game. As you play, you're placing down tiles and cards that are upgrading the map that you're traveling through.
Okay.
Building bridges, setting up huts, establishing forts, clearing some threats along the way, getting rid of rubble and stuff. And so the map is scripted and changes based on the players that are playing the game.
Nice.
It's really, really cool. It's such an incredible title. And I have a copy of the new one.
My turn?
Also, if you just want something compelling, your meeples, you get to choose your color hat.
That's cool.
Sold her the game right there. That's all we needed. We will 100% doing coverage of this. Probably jumping into an unboxing or something. Okay.
Here is Riftforce. Riftforce is 2 players, head-to-head combat game.
This is coming out of Capstone Games. It's actually interesting because it is a lighter game than their kind of bigger box. They do a lot of like heavy games pulling into the mix. We have a few more of their heavy games with us.
We actually got into this. We have gotten this to the table since GenCon and had a go at it. And it's about all these different forces of nature who are coming against each other. You create your own team and you have that deck, and then you have a lineup of different battles that you're occurring, and it's number versus number, and then you have the abilities of your team members.
You're lane battling with a lot of really unique custom abilities. You're able to kind of mix and match and start using and sequencing them. I'd say it plays really cleanly. We could sit down, I could teach someone new to play this in probably just a few minutes.
It was also really good for its time frame.
Plays very tight. It's very good for its time frame. Yeah, probably not immediately my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this lane battling genre, I have a few of these smaller box lane battling games. Honestly, they could probably all fit into this one. And a few of them set up on the table for a really good evening is compelling to me. Nice. It's kind of the same way that Alex approaches like roll and write games.
Yeah.
No roll and write game is perfect unto itself.
Right. It's not going to make a game night, but
in a collection they provide enough diversity and enough interest to cycle. You gonna grab another one?
Ha. Okay. Luna Capital.
Do I even need to talk about this one?
So I don't think we need to say anything about it. We have heard so many people talking through the convention about this title.
Not only heard.
We bought it.
And we played it.
And we played it. Yeah, we did all of the above. So Luna Capital is by Duhr. And it is about, you are a company, a franchise, going up to populate and build up the moon. Yeah. And it is a tile placement. What do you call the buildings that you're putting on? What mechanism is that? I know it's like a tableau building type of game.
So you're building your card grid that you're then placing you're placing buildings down on. So you're not actually triggering a lot of extra resources and stuff, so it's not tableau building.
Okay.
It's more like you're doing tile placement and like pattern building in a way.
Okay.
It has a similar scoring to, honestly, it's super comparable to Cascadia, Verdant, and Calico.
Yeah.
With the way that it does pattern building, but it does it on such a high level.
There were so many things to focus on. It was so deep and complex. I mean, this immediately, and I'm so sorry to them, this immediately bumps all of those games off my shelf. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. You have in-game goals that you can do, and then each of the different building types scores differently, and what one person is focusing on might not be what another person is focusing on, and there's just so much.
Yeah, the whole object of the game is to draft cards that have an escalating number of buildings on them, and then place those cards into your timeline, or into your city district, and then place those buildings in accordance to however you're trying to score victory points. And there's like 17 different ways to score victory points, and it sounds like a lot, but it both is and isn't, because there's so much opportunity to score. You have a breadth of
we
cool
actually had a
things to
pretty
do.
score. Yours was 120. You got 120 points. I got 116 points.
Yeah, we were super
very
close.
And we went for two completely different
I
strategies.
regret not getting a second copy of this just to give to Alex, and I cannot wait to show him this game.
Yeah.
This might be, if it's not the best, it's within the top 3 that we saw at GenCon this year.
Definitely.
Easily.
Yeah.
This was out of nowhere.
And like anytime we
brilliant.
would ask anyone, so what game are you most looking forward to? Everyone was like Luna Capital by Duhr. It was.
Yeah, they'd all played it, and they were all right.
I saw a demo actually there. All right, Aquatica.
Now,
one of my.
we don't actually have the base game
No,
yet.
we don't. We just got the expansion, and they ran out of the base game
were
because that's
completely
how
sold out of the
that's
base
how popular
game.
this game is. This is like one of my all-time favorite games. It will most likely be in my top 10 when I get around to making it.
Yeah.
Both because my favorite color is blue. I have loved the water. I love to swim. I love the artwork in this game. And I love the mechanisms of you slide up your it doesn't even show it on here. So you're sliding up your cards, getting different rewards, triggering different things to score, and it's a beautiful.
This does have tableau building. The cards that you play start sequencing onto each shelf, and they just like they escalate in the way that your tableau is going to be.
It's just like there's a polar bear over there. There's
Here.
like a little squid over there. This guy has an eyeball. There's like Rex all at the bottom.
So Alex has everything for this, and we've been deciding slowly to add this one to our. We've known for a long time it was going to our
slowly.
collection.
As soon as I played it with.
We've known it for a long time it was going to our collection. We just haven't had an opportunity to grab it yet.
Yeah. So we grabbed the expansion, and then hopefully we'll get the base game at some point.
Yeah, Alex is kind of done with us borrowing his copy of things, so.
All right, here is another copy from Duhr. This one the publisher actually gave us. Silk.
Yeah, this is one that they thought we'd really enjoy. I love the art, the theme, the aesthetic, and so I was talking with him a little bit there, and he was like, "Hey, bring a copy of Silk home to give a closer look." And then we circled back to grab Luna Capital. Silk looks really interesting. I remember watching the Shut Up and Sit Down coverage of it, which was more of a comedy skit. I remember specifically like the guy in the worm. Yeah, it's funny. You should check it out. But the game looks really, really interesting. So this, for me, is one of those games where you're basically going... It's basically sequencing. So you're going to be rolling dice to trigger a set of actions, and you're not tied to the dice that you roll. You can spend resources in order to change those numbers, and there's only a breadth of 6. So it's not that far away, and 6 wraps around to 1. So you actually have a lot of control over what you're able to program and do. When you trigger those actions, you're pretty much going to be focused on doing 2 things. Generating silkworms onto the board, and then moving and shifting your position on the board across all these different pastures and tiles. And so if you've ever played those little slide puzzles, that's sort of what this feels like, because every piece can interact with other pieces. The beast is going to be moving, trying to consume the silkworms. The silkworms are going to be able to move on their own, or the farmer or the mastiff, which is the big hound dog, can move them. Although the mastiff is unable to go over things like fence posts or through places with the farmer. And the farmer is unable to scare away the beast, but the mastiff can scare away the beast. You see, and so you might have a sequence where you decide to move the mastiff into the beast location, shifting the beast over to a friend's like farmer, shifting their farmer over to a silkworm, shifting the silkworm off the side of the map. So one little action starts triggering all of these other actions, and it's competitive. So you're trying to establish your plot, develop your technology when it comes to farming these silkworms, set up fence posts to keep things from consuming them, right?
Yeah.
And then also set up little incubators that start spawning them onto the board. And the silkworms, of course, are going to be consuming and processing and getting you victory points by exhausting the tile underneath them. So green tiles are worth more depending on how many silkworms you have there. You see what it is? So
I'm looking forward to it.
It looks like a really cool puzzle, and coming off the back of Luna Capital,
high expectations.
There's
honestly.
a strong chance I just get everything Devira's made as soon as I
down with
play
that.
it. I mean, yeah, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Alright, another title that so many people were talking about at GenCon.
A title that was selling out within 30 minutes of the morning.
They only had a limited amount of supplies. People were standing in line to get it, and people were walking away without getting this title.
This is Vagrentsong, which is going to be a dungeon crawl style sort of campaign little puzzle. Now, we got a chance to get a preview of it. We didn't get a chance to sit down and demo it, but Jan and sort of the team were really, really excited about it. First off, it's going to have that old school 1920s style, similar to Townsfolk Tussle.
I like the artwork. That was what pulled me in, honestly. I saw the artwork. I was like, oh, that's cool.
It looks absolutely beautiful. It's not a big boss battle like Townsfolk Tussle is. Instead, you're going to be kind of working across this train track system here. You're inside a train track, I believe, and you're going to be battling through a series of, I think, 12 campaign stages, doing your very best to, like, play your characters, upgrade your cards, select and, like, utilize actions. It is a really interesting system when it comes to the way that you actually start upgrading, progressing your character. You get, like, a lot of control, just like you want in a dungeon crawler. But yeah, I'm compelled by it. I haven't had a chance to play it, so I don't quite know what to say about it.
Yeah.
That being said, I will do the flavor text on this one, though. Haven't had a night's rest since you don't know when. There's a whistling from a train coming round the bend. Out from the darkness, its faint blue light descends. Hop on board as it passes by. It'll be your bitter end.
You were on key?
Was I?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Good job.
Cool. I'm excited. I'm excited about so many things, including... Wait, what are you doing? What about Eschaton?
Oh, Eschaton. Okay. Is it Eschaton or Eschaton?
Not sure, but this is going to be a scrappy little publisher.
I walked past their booth and I was pulled in by all the darkness, honestly. All the black. It was so cool. Like, just the color scheme is magnificent.
They basically have a booth that in a GenCon of bright lights is just absorbing gray darkness crumbling at your spirit.
So this is an area control deck building game, which area control is my favorite genre.
Deck building is one of my favorite genres, and so we saw it on the table. We saw people being really mean to each other. That's one of the things that's really compelled about this. You cycle through your deck or your hand of cards very fast, and you can be very, very brutal in the way that you're playing with other people. And we thought it was one that fit right up our alley, what we really wanted to try. So we ended up picking all this up.
We got the upgraded components.
Have the upgraded components, which are actually going to be adorable little cultist meeples. We have the main base game, and then we have the expansion, which they said don't even play with until you've mastered this.
So I'm looking forward to getting this to the table.
I'm really excited about this.
We have so much to get to the table.
No, this is going to happen. This is going to happen like this weekend.
Awesome.
I think. We have got to unbox this one first, though. I think that's the plan.
My turn for
this
land
might be competing
versus
So
sea.
there's two games. Now we haven't played all the games, so give us a bit of grace. But there's two games that in my mind are blowing me away.
Yeah.
The reason being is I think I underestimated them initially. That's going to be Luna Capital.
Yeah.
Wrote it off a little bit into like 12
totally underestimated.
people.
I had to convince you to get it.
And then Land vs. Sea, which is not available to the public yet.
No?
This one's going to be released, I believe, Q4, like late this year, from Good Games Publishing. This is
exquisite.
mind-blowing.
Oh my gosh, the amount of things to focus on. We have played a couple games of this already, and we haven't even started touching the other things to focus on. We have just slowly been focusing on Land versus Sea.
I was reading the rulebook, and me being arrogant, like the board gamer that I am, it was like, hey, okay, so the object of the game is to just do tile placement where you're connecting land and sea tiles on the board. She likes this enough, she's like breaking it out of the thing.
I am.
So the object of the game is to connect sea tiles so that you're connecting land versus sea, and every time you finish a pattern, you're going to score for it, right? Pretty straightforward. We've all played games like this. You're thinking of any tile placement game that deals with any sort of geography. Except it's really, really crunchy. From the way that you're closing off these rifts to the fact that you're trying to keep your opponent from finishing theirs and screwing them out of big victory points.
I had the most epic one created, and you refuse to let me score it. Of course,
because you would have crushed me by like 80 points.
It was so epic and beautiful,
She was so invested in this game that it really did ruin game night for a couple hours.
It did. I went to my room and I was
She stood up and said, I'm done for a bit.
I might have moved the table.
But the important thing is, I won. I won by just the hair of my teeth.
I'm trying to create a water fixture right now.
I hear. Okay, so the object of the game is going to be this tile placement. So I was reading the rulebook and I was thinking to myself, oh, well that sounds simple. Let's start reading the expansion pieces. There's things that you can deal with, from mountain ranges to boats to trade routes to caravans to a whole lot of other little factors that score. And then we started playing, and I immediately went, oh no, oh no, I can't focus on anything else. Here's the crazy thing. Every single one of these pieces
is double-sided.
Double-sided, with different map pieces, with different scoring, with different terrain, with different sequences, with different objectives. Oh my gosh.
And there's different abilities that you can do. So this one allows you to steal a piece from your opponent. This one allows you to play 2 pieces at once. X's gives you extra points. And then I don't even know what the rest of the things do, but I know there's all these sea monsters and these corals. I know that if you line up next to each other, start scoring for you for that. Ugh. And it's beautiful. And we found such funny artwork in it. Also, we found a goat.
Yeah. It's very, very funny. Either way, if you enjoy tile placement games, here's the thing. Good Games Publishing has put out some really good titles. They've put out Funfair and Unfair, which are 2 titles which I think are really, really notable. I think this is like a standout piece, though. I think any publisher putting this game out would be super proud and successful of it.
It was wonderful.
I mean, keep your eyes out. And the small box size of this, this is going to be one of those games that I think is going to be like a pick of the year type of thing.
And it's also just going to travel with us a lot. Like, it's so easy to play 2 players. Bring it along. You can play 2 players, you can play 3.
We brought back a second copy for Alex.
We did. I don't know if we give it to him anymore.
Okay, we'll cut that part. Okay, what else do we get? What else do we finally get? I've got something big down here. Kabuto Sumo, a game that I backed on Kickstarter. I finally was actually able to pick up my copy there at GenCon. This
is about all these different bugs fighting in a wrestling ring. And they're literally all wearing the diaper loincloth that the wrestlers wear.
It's the most, it's the slowest, most thought-provoking little dexterity game I've played, because what you're doing is you have this sumo platform with a lot of little discs on it, and you start slowly pushing them across, trying to shove them off the platform. Now, we do have some thoughts around it. First impressions is some elements of it are a little bit slower than we like. Some of the extra, cards and game mechanics we'd like to be a little bit more fun or used a little bit more. That being said, we're already 5 games into this.
Yeah, we brought it up, played it with our friends already.
It's hit the table more than anything else.
And I don't like dexterity
so far.
games, but this one actually, because it's not completely dexterity, you're pushing circular pieces, and the way circular pieces move, they roll against each other and move. So what you think is pushing in a straight line is it's curving to the left. It's curving to the right.
It's a coin. It's a slot machine. It's a coin-operated slot machine that operates.
Yeah.
The other thing is we house ruled that you push a little bit farther than the edge of the board. You push into the inner track instead of the outer edge, and that actually enhanced. It
made it a little scarier to watch your wrestler piece come close to the edge.
It means you could lose quicker.
Yeah.
But it also means that you can then start playing another game
and win quicker.
Yeah. So Kabuto Sumo, really, really neat. Do we have more things on your side?
We do.
Okay.
We have 3 more things on my side.
I mean, do we want to save the biggest thing for the very end? Because it's just insane.
Equinox.
We just got done playing this one. This was one of the most recent ones. This is from Plan B Games.
It is a bidding game, essentially, where you have this massive grid of cards that you're going to slowly be building out. You're picking 8 different animals and their factions. They have cards numbered 0 to 10, unless one special faction has 10.5. 0.5 to 10.5, and basically you are choosing cards to bid in a series of 5 different rounds. The sooner you bid on the card, the more points it will reward you at the end of the game. You can only use the creature's ability that you have bid on, and the person who has bid soonest and has the most bidding points on that creature can use it, and the other person cannot.
When you play and activate that card, although the pressure point there is when you play and activate the card, you're taking one out of the lineup, and you want your creatures to survive through the entirety of the game. So lots of cool powers and abilities. It is a table hog, takes up a lot of space, but I was actually really surprised by this one, and surprised at 2 players.
Surprised how, yeah, it functioned really decently at 2 players.
I would play it again at 2 players.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be best at 3 and 4.
Yeah.
I think more people adding to that chaos of bidding and squabbling and the pressure point of, like, when do you decide to go in on a creature is going to be really impactful. But no, Equinox, Plan B games, shockingly compelling. And to me, it felt like a better version of the race games.
Yeah.
A lot of the race games have you planning and bidding at certain rounds. Camel Up by the same company has you bidding at certain rounds trying to decide like who's going to win and how to get around the track easiest or quickest. And this did a similar thing, but did it in a much more controlled space and gave me way more leverage over what was happening. And I really liked that.
I liked stealing your creatures out from under you.
Equinox, lovely little game. We'll be doing more coverage on this.
Alright, we're getting to the bottom over here. We have got Iberian Guage.
Okay, so this is going to be one of those games that's a little bit more classic, coming out of Capstone, heavy, thinky. This is going to be a train game.
Is that it you're going to say? Because I don't know much about it.
So, well,
Except that it's pretty.
We're going to dig into it. I like train games. I don't play a lot of train games.
Okay.
So I am excited to dig into this one. This is going to be their newest kind of in these series. There's Irish Guage, Iberian Guage, a few others. I'm excited to check this out because I don't believe you've ever played
a train
game like this, where you're kind of route building and connecting cities and villages, and you have control over an economic system. So one of the biggest things about games like this is you have a marketplace where you're controlling the financial value of what you're shipping and delivering. You're sort of setting up your own trade routes often.
Euro, basically?
Euro-esque, yeah. Euro-esque, but train games is like its own little sub-corner of that.
Fascinating.
That do their own little weird thing. So let's see here. In Iberian Guage, you'll invest in railroad companies during stock rounds. In the operating rounds, each share of the stock allows a shareholder to build a track for that company. In the order those shares were purchased, but building in such hostile terrain is expensive. Leasing tracks from other companies reduces the cost and keeps your railroads expanding. Failure to expand will sink your stock values, leading to ruin. So, the biggest thing in this game is, like I said, you're going to have that economic marketplace where you're investing in different things, you're betting on companies to win, just like you would in kind of a railroad economy, building out those train yards. It sounds like borrowing from other players, what they've already built, which probably gives them some kickback as well.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. You like games that don't hold your hand in a mean but interesting way.
Yeah.
This may be right up your alley. And also,
It's gorgeous.
it's just beautiful. Enotool did the artwork, which
We
is
should
fantastic.
take it on a train trip across the country.
Okay, play all the train games through all the 18XX train games through across trains across America.
Yeah.
Great. If anyone wants to sponsor that, any big train companies out there that just want to send us to all
there
the
are trains that go across America still. They're like travel trains.
I'm not against it. What else do we have?
We have one more on my side. This is Genotype.
Ooh, okay. So I have been looking for a good opportunity to cover Genius Games for a while. They do sort of schoolhouse projects in a lot of ways. Like, have you ever wanted to play a game with the periodic table? And not just play a game with the periodic table. I mean, play a good game with the periodic table. Well, they do that, right? And so their stuff is usually scientific, usually thought-provoking, usually very interesting when it comes to game mechanics, but does so in an educational fashion. Awesome. This one is not only that, but for me is really interesting, really compelling, and really beautiful. Genotype is going to be a game all about how I believe
genetic inheritance.
Plants start kind of combining and changing, and you start doing specialized.
So biology is like one of my favorite classes in high school, and I always loved the Punnett square. How you have A B, and then you get two AAs, you get AB, you get BB, and I loved it. I loved how recessive and dominance work, and I am super excited to have a game that uses all those rules.
You want a little bit of that flavor text up there?
Okay. Scientific knowledge doesn't always advance in predictable patterns. Help Gregor Mendel test his paradigm-shifting hypothesis in Genotype, a Mendelian genetics game. Up to 5 players work as research scientists along Mendel, collecting experimental data and learning the fundamentals of genetics. Each round, scientists compete over a shared pool of offspring dice that are rolled to simulate genetic inheritance, track dominant and recessive phenotypes, hypothesize outcomes, and watch hereditary principles in action. While waiting for the next generation of plants, work to set research goals Acquire powerful tools and secure funds for hiring assistants or purchasing upgrades. The scientist who sows the most plants and best predicts the results reaps victory. So it's got some prediction in it and like betting, I assume.
I like it.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm excited. I love the art. I love the theme. I'm excited to be covering something by Genius Games because I think they do such an interesting thing in our marketplace.
I wanted the one on the periodic table. He was afraid of going back to school.
And it's true. I left biology class, dropped out of high school, and then still graduated early. If you want to figure out that math puzzle, send me a question. We've got one thing left.
Last but not least. Honestly, it was literally not least. Middara.
So, I did an unboxing a long time ago on the original 1.0. This is going to be like 1.6 or something along those lines.
Okay.
This has a few upgraded cards, abilities. They tightened up the game rules just a little bit, made it a little bit more punchy, because before they'd focus so much on the story that I think they'd left off a bit of the dungeon crawl fight and flight that everyone wants. But we finally picked up a whole copy of Middara, which I love big box, expansive games. You're starting to get into them with me.
Yeah.
We've played Gloomhaven. We're 5-6 episodes into that.
Yep.
We're, 3 episodes, going on our 3rd episode of Kingdom Death.
Yep.
We're going to be diving into Middara sometime soon. We're going to start with an unboxing video. Did you do an unboxing video with Alex, or did he do his own unboxing video?
I might have. I don't remember.
I remember you've seen his version opened up.
I've seen the artwork.
And
There's a book. There's a massive book with all the artwork that I just flipped through. It was so exquisite. You want to get the other?
Okay, listen here. I like my games. I already know I like my games. I like my big box games. I like my crazy kind of aggressively created resins. I like painting and abilities and all the expansions.
I like minis.
So I ended up getting just one little other, the Juggler's Daughter. This is going to be a resin expansion piece. The Judge's Daughter. She kind of looks like a juggler.
We actually opened this one already. I just retaped it for sake of getting a picture.
You're going to show?
I'm going to show.
So basically what this is going to contain is very fragile resin pieces. We're going to have our stand, our base, and a whole series of very important cards. So these are going to be characters that you can play, enemies that you can duel. They just enhance the game state even more. So we have really cool artwork of her. We have some of her abilities. We have her inverted servants, which are going to be people that are on her miniatures, like flipped upside down there. We have a whole wall of flavor text. Yeah. Do you see that? Yeah. Which, for me, is just super cool. Now, I'm not sure if we get to play by her or we get to fight her. I think the option is there for both. Because I think inverted servants actually have a combat system as well. And then we have our items, mechanics, things that we get from them. We have our initiative tracking, which means maybe we do get to fight up against her. And we have the item upgrade, plushie, a charmed plushie. So that's it. This is all I ended up getting. Okay. I got one more of them. I got Dream Walker Lim.
Walker Lim.
There's going to be another resin kit, which does a similar thing. Look at the super crazy wolf. Another piece that you can kind of mix in. This is actually going to be a collaboration with Level 99 Games, which I'm super excited about.
Are all them collaborations?
I don't believe so.
No.
So this one I think is a collaboration with Bullet. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. That's it. Those two.
Cool. Let's wrap up the video.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
I might have gotten one other.
All right. I'm just gonna keep putting this away.
I might have just two others. There's a chance I got 3. Okay. We did all the resin kits.
We did all the resin kits.
We did all the resin kits. Why do we do all the resin kits? Because they're amazing. Because the models are superb. Because the artwork is fantastic. Because I, like KDM, want the opportunity to mix and match and create.
It's a race.
I'm showing them the artwork.
Oh, I'm stacking them because I think it's amazing.
I'm just saying, we got all the resin kits, which is exciting.
Yeah.
They're all going to have resin elements. They're all going to have kind of upgraded components and mechanics, different characters that you can play with. Like, for instance, where are some of our casual people? Like this. So, casual Nightingale. Nightingale is going to be one of your core characters in the game. Casual Nightingale is going to be alternative model, alternative pieces of gear. It's
So there's
similar.
casual Zeke, there's casual Rook, and I believe there was one more.
There
And
should be
casual Rem.
So basically, these are going to be alternative core game characters that you can play. It's similar to Kingdom Death's White Box series, which gives you some promo cards, gives you new models, and allows you to sort of expand and experiment. And then, of course, we ended up getting
The neoprene mats.
neoprene mats as well. So yeah, we're going to be playing some Middara here soon. Whatever the case,
Whatever you do.
remember to do the important thing. Get out and play some games. We'll see you next time. And if you're going to be at Origins,
We'll be there.
we'll see you there as well. Thanks.